Welcome to the Tejswi IB Show. In this podcast, we dive into the world of intellectual property, like patents, copyright, trademark, geographical indication, design. Also analyze the recent event in IP world. Today, we're focusing on a topic that sits right at the heart of nearly every online creator's workflow: copyright. There's this persistent assumption out there that if something is easily accessible online, it's fair game to use. But as we, the content creators of Tejswi IP, know all too well, that assumption can lead to a lot of headaches, or worse.
Precisely. Yeah, we constantly see creators navigating what we sometimes call the copyright gray zone. It's incredibly easy to stumble into copywrong situations, from content takedowns and demonetization right up to, well, actual lawsuits. Our goal today is really to cut through the confusion, to clearly outline what you can and what you absolutely cannot legally use in your creative projects. We want to empower you, really, to create with confidence, knowing you're on the right side of the law.
So let's start with the absolute bedrock then. When we talk about copyright, what exactly are we protecting? What kind of power does it give the person who holds it?
Okay, so at its core, copyright is a legal right. It grants the creator of an original work exclusive control over how that work is used. It's not just some fancy legal term. It's the creator's fundamental power.
Right.
The power to decide if, how, and when their work is copied, shared, adapted, or displayed publicly.
Right.
Think of it like intellectual ownership. It gives creators an incentive to innovate, knowing their efforts are, well, safeguarded.
And when we talk about works, it's probably far broader than most people imagine, right? We're not just talking about the latest blockbuster movie or a hit song.
Oh, absolutely. The scope is incredibly wide. And what's fascinating is that protection kicks in, from the very moment the work is created.
Instantly. No registration needed.
Instantly. No formal registration required initially, although registration does offer added legal benefits down the line, definitely. But yeah, beyond the obvious things like photos, articles, videos, music, artwork, copyright also extends to less obvious elements. Did you know a specific unique sound effect, even just a few notes?
Really?
Yeah, that can be copyrighted. We've seen cases where even a very short musical jingle, just a couple of seconds, was fiercely protected.
Wow.
Or think about the precise way a user interface is designed. That visual layout, distinct from the underlying code, that can be copyrighted too.
Okay.
Even those viral memes, With their specific image and text combinations, they often fall under the copyright protection of the original image creator. The key takeaway, especially now in the digital age where copying is just so easy,
Click of a button.
exactly, is this. Unless you are the original creator or you have secured a specific license or permission, you generally cannot use it.
It's astonishing how pervasive copyright is,
Yeah.
even the things we might casually share every day. So with that foundation laid, the next question creators always have, it comes up in our client discussions all the time, is where can we actually find content that's genuinely safe to use, without constantly looking over our shoulder?
That's a crucial question, yeah. We've kind of distilled it down to 4 main categories that are generally safe, provided, and this is key, you follow the specific guidelines for each. Think of these as your sort of go-to content wells. They let you create freely and legally.
Okay, 4 categories. What's the first one?
First up, we have public domain content.
The classics.
Exactly. These are works where the copyright has simply expired, or in some cases, maybe it never existed in the first place. Imagine the creative freedom, right? Integrating a piece of Beethoven's Fifth into your video, or quoting extensively from books published, say, before 1929 in the US without needing a single permission slip.
That sounds liberating.
It is. And this also includes a vast amount of US government content. Think of those breathtaking NASA images.
Oh, yeah, those are amazing.
Often explicitly in the public domain. It's a huge, often untapped reservoir of legal content.
That public domain tool is incredibly freeing, isn't it? It means history's art and knowledge become truly accessible for new creations. But what if you're looking for something more contemporary, something created recently but still freely available for use?
Right, good question. That's where a really innovative concept comes in, Creative Commons.
Okay, Creative Commons, how does that work?
So the next category is Creative Commons Media. This is a powerful movement where creators themselves choose to offer their work for reuse, but they do it under specific, standardized Creative Commons licenses.
Standardized.
Yeah, it's a system built on a philosophy of sharing, but crucially, with very clear built-in rules. It's absolutely vital to check the specific license type. our instance, a CC0 license, that's the most flexible. It's essentially no rights reserved, basically placing the work in the public domain.
Okay, like a donation to the public.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But other licenses might require you to provide attribution, give credit, or they might restrict commercial use, or even forbid adaptations like making changes. You always need to ensure you credit properly if the license requires it. That's part of the legal agreement you're entering into by using the content.
So it's not a free-for-all, but it's a brilliant way to find content with built-in permission as long as you, well, read the fine print.
Exactly. Read the fine print.
So it really emphasizes respecting the creator's terms, even when they're being generous.
Yeah.
And then we move into the realm of more professional resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
For those looking for curated, high-quality assets.
Precisely. The third category covers royalty-free and licensed assets. Many reputable platforms offer professional-grade media images, music, video that you can legally use with a license. Often it's for a subscription fee or maybe a one-time purchase per asset.
We're talking about sites like...
Well, popular ones include Unsplash or Shutterstock for images, Artlist or Epidemic Sound for music, Motion Array or Storyblocks for videos. There are lots out there. These are excellent, reliable sources for creators who need access to a vast library of high-quality stuff. But here's the critical distinction. Royalty-free doesn't mean free for everything.
Ah, okay. That's a common confusion.
It is. It typically means you don't pay royalties per use after you get the initial license. But there are still specific terms of use attached to that license.
Right.
Always, and I mean always, meticulously read the usage terms. They'll outline exactly what you can and cannot do. Can you use it commercially? How many times? Can you modify it? It's not about avoiding rules, it's just about understanding them.
So royalty-free means you've got the license to use it, but those licenses still have boundaries. It's not a free pass.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the ultimate tightrope walk in copyright. Fair use. This is the one we get asked about constantly because it feels it's a loophole, but it's anything but right.
Oh, absolutely. You've hit on the most complex and frequently misunderstood aspect, fair use, or more accurately, fair use in specific contexts. This is a very tricky legal defense, not a right. It allows limited use of copyrighted content without permission, but only under very strict conditions.
A defense, not a right.
Yeah.
That's key.
Exactly. It's not a blanket permission. It's a legal argument you might make in court if you were sued. Whether something qualifies as fair use is decided case by case, considering four main factors.
Okay, what are they?
1. The purpose and character of the use. Is it commercial or nonprofit educational? Is it transformative? 2. The nature of the copyrighted work itself. 3. The amount and substantiality of the portion used compared to the whole work. And 4. The effect of your use upon the potential market for or value of the original copyrighted work.
Transformative use.
Yeah.
That sounds important. What does that mean exactly?
It's crucial. Transformative use is where you significantly alter the original work, adding new meaning, message, or purpose. So, for instance, creating a parody where you drastically change the original for a comedic or critical effect, that's often considered fair use because it's transformative.
Right, like Weird Al Yankovic.
Kind of, yeah. But simply, say, adding new lyrics to a song without fundamentally changing its character, even if it's for a good cause, that's often not seen as transformative enough. Fair use typically applies to things like commentary or criticism, parody or satire, news reporting, or genuine educational or research purposes. What's really important for creators to understand is that this is not a general permission to just borrow content. You can't just grab stuff for a general blog post or a YouTube intro or some B-roll for your vlog and call it fair use.
Okay.
Those applications are highly unlikely to qualify without a really strong transformative element.
So if you're not actively transforming the content or using it for a clear educational or critical purpose, you're likely on shaky ground with fair use. It's a defense, not a right to just use stuff. Now let's talk about the common mistakes. The things creators do, often unknowingly, that step right into that copywrong territory. What are the big red flags we see most often?
Right, this is where assumptions can really get you into trouble. And unfortunately, we see these errors constantly in the digital space. First one, huge one, copying from Google Images.
Ah, the siren song of Google Images.
It is. It's incredibly tempting, isn't it? Just grab that perfect picture for your blog post or social media. But most images found via Google search are under copyright.
Even if you credit the source.
Even if you painstakingly credit the source. Using them without explicit permission or a valid license is illegal. Crediting simply isn't a substitute for obtaining the actual rights. It's a trap so many creators fall into.
The Google Images trap, it's almost too easy. People just right-click and save. It feels harmless. What's the key legal detail they're missing there?
The key detail is exclusive control. Remember, the copyright holder has the exclusive right to reproduce and distribute their work. When you right-click, save, and then upload it to your website or social media, you are reproducing and distributing it without permission. Even if it's just for personal use, unless it falls under a very narrow fair use exception, you're infringing. It's not about how easy it is. It's about whose property it is.
Got it. Property rights.
Exactly. And that leads us right into the next common mistake, using music snippets.
Oh, the 30-second rule myth.
That exact myth, or some variation, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, it's simply not true. There's no legally safe number of seconds. None. Even a few seconds of copyrighted music can lead to severe consequences. Content ID claims, takedowns, demonetization of your entire video, or even serious legal action. Copyright holders have incredibly sophisticated systems now. They can detect even tiny uses across platforms like YouTube. We've genuinely seen creators lose entire channels or significant revenue streams over just a few seconds of a popular song used without a license.
That's terrifying for any creator. Losing your platform over a short clip.
What about content on social media itself? We see things constantly reshared, reposted, remixed there. Surely that's fair game.
That's another massive misconception. Which brings us to reposting content from social media. That funny TikTok, that engaging Instagram reel, that viral tweet you love.
Yeah.
If you download it and then re-upload it to your own feed, especially if it's for commercial use like on a brand page or a monetized channel, it's very likely copyright infringement.
Even if it's easy to download.
Yes. Just because a platform makes it easy to share or download doesn't grant you the right to re-upload it as your own original content. Think about the built-in sharing features like repost or embed. They usually link back to the original creator for a reason. They respect their rights. Taking it outside those features, downloading and re-uploading, that's where you invite trouble. Okay, so use the platform's share tools. Don't just download and re-upload. And finally, something that feels even more innocent. Something many might think is just doing their research, but can still be problematic. Paraphrasing?
Yes, paraphrasing articles or blog posts can definitely be a danger zone too. Rewriting someone else's work isn't automatically the same as creating your own original piece, especially if you're not adding significant new insight or perspective.
How close is too close?
Well, if your version is too close in structure, or it copies unique ideas or the specific expression of those ideas, it can still be considered copyright infringement. This is particularly problematic if it's done at scale, like with some of those automated tools people use for mass republishing or article spinning.
Ah, right.
The core question for any content you're creating should be, are you truly generating something novel and original? Or are you just repackaging someone else's original thought and effort? It's about building on ideas, not simply recycling them. These really are the feels okay but isn't scenarios. They underscore how easily creators can accidentally step into copyright pitfalls. We've certainly seen these myths persist, leading so many creators astray. Let's tackle the 3 most common myths we encounter head-on.
Absolutely. Happy to debunk these. The top 3 misconceptions that consistently get creators into trouble are, number 1, myth 1. If I credit the creator, it's fine.
The attribution myth.
Exactly. This is simply not true, and it's probably the most dangerous one we see repeated all over the internet. As we just discussed, attribution doesn't replace the need for permission or a license.
Right.
Giving credit is good etiquette, sure, and often it is a requirement of a license if you have one. But it doesn't magically grant you a legal right to use copyrighted material if you don't have explicit permission from the copyright holder. They retain their exclusive rights, regardless of whether you mention their name. That point about attribution not being permission, it's a huge hurdle for many to wrap their heads around because it just seems intuitive, doesn't it? Just give credit. So what's the next major myth creators fall for? Perhaps thinking their intent protects them.
That brings us nicely to myth 2. It's just for educational or personal use.
Ah, yes, the I'm not making money defense.
Precisely.
Yeah.
While your intent can be a factor considered under that complex fair use defense we talked about, it is absolutely not a free pass to use any copyrighted material you want. Fair use is a very narrow exception. Simply claiming educational or personal intent isn't enough on its own to make a use legal. It has to fit those strict criteria: commentary, criticism, research, parody, transformative use, and even then, it's not guaranteed.
So just because you're not profiting directly or it's for a school project doesn't automatically make it okay.
Not automatically, no. The other fair use factors still apply.
Okay. And then there's the last myth, the one that suggests there's safety in numbers. This is a tempting one for many creators.
Yes, very tempting. Myth 3, everyone else is doing it.
The lemming defense.
Haha, kind of. You might see countless accounts using copyrighted music, images, clips without apparent immediate consequences. It looks like it's okay. But here's the reality. It doesn't prevent consequences down the line. Relying on this simply puts you at constant risk. Risk of a takedown notice, a content ID strike, a fine, or even a lawsuit hitting you at any moment.
Right.
Copyright holders often act in waves, or they might target an infringing use once it gains significant traction or visibility. We've certainly seen cases, big channels even, with hundreds of thousands of subscribers suddenly face serious legal action because they operated on this very assumption for years.
Wow.
Don't follow the crowd if it's heading towards legal trouble. Your online presence, your reputation, even your finances could all be at stake.
That's a powerful reminder. Ignoring the rules just because others seem to be getting away with it isn't a sustainable strategy for any serious creator.
Yeah.
So, given all these potential pitfalls, how can creators operate safely and legally without completely stifling their creative flow? Because we want to encourage creativity, not kill it.
That's exactly the right mindset, and it is possible. The best creators, the most sustainable ones, understand how to work with the rules, not try to get around them. It's about building smart habits and making informed choices right from the start of your project.
Okay, so what are those smart habits?
Firstly, use legitimate resources. There are so many excellent platforms out there now specifically designed for legally sourcing content. It makes it easier than ever to do things the right way.
Like the ones you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. For images, think Unsplash, Pexels, maybe paid ones like Shutterstock. For music, the YouTube audio library is free and great. Or paid options like Artlist, Epidemic Sound. For videos, Mixkit, Pixabay Video, Storyblocks. Even for fonts. Google Fonts or Font Squirrel are good places to look. Just remember, always check their specific licenses carefully, even for fonts, as they can have usage terms too.
Right.
These platforms are built to make it simple for you to find and use content legally, often with really clear, straightforward licensing.
So step 1, rather than risking it with a random Google search, go directly to these trusted sites where the permissions are transparent and the content is vetted. But what if there's something very specific I want to use, something unique that isn't on any of these big platforms?
Great question. In that scenario, the most straightforward and honestly the safest approach is simply to ask for permission.
Just reach out.
Just reach out. If you truly want to use something specific, find the creator and directly email or DM them. You might be surprised. Most creators are actually very willing to grant permission, especially if you're respectful, you clearly explain how you want to use it, and you offer proper credit.
That makes sense.
A quick, polite message can save you a world of trouble and potential legal fees down the line. Plus, it's also a fantastic way to build connections within your creative community. We've seen many times where a simple, respectful request actually opened doors to collaborations and positive relationships.
That's a great point. A little communication and respect really do go a long way, especially online. And finally, the most foolproof, stress-free strategy of all.
Yeah.
The ultimate freedom for any online creator.
Ultimately, it comes down to this. Be original.
Create it yourself.
Create it yourself. Creating your own original content is the single best copyright-safe strategy you will ever use, period. It completely eliminates all these concerns about licensing, fair use exceptions, or getting permission.
Right.
When you create it yourself, you own the copyright from the moment of creation. That gives you full control and complete peace of mind. And honestly, this is where true creativity flourishes, unburdened by all those legal anxieties. It fosters a truly unique voice and perspective, which is what ultimately sets successful creators apart in such a crowded digital landscape.
As we start to wrap up this really important discussion, we invite you, the listener, to consider this question for yourself. Are you copying or creating?
Yeah, that's the core question. There's a very fine line, often quite blurred, between inspiration and imitation. If your work leans too heavily on someone else's, if it feels like just a rehash or a mere reproduction without adding much new, you're likely on the copywrong side. But if you're adding real value, offering a new perspective, genuinely transforming the material in some way, or best of all, creating something truly from scratch, then you're in the clear. That original spark, that unique voice, that's what copyright is actually designed to protect and encourage.
So the next time you're about to grab that image, quote that article, use that video clip, or put that music track in your project, Take a moment and genuinely ask yourself, am I using this legally or am I just crossing my fingers and hoping I don't get caught?
Making that conscious shift in mindset, asking that question every time, will not only protect you legally, it will also help you become a more thoughtful, more innovative, and frankly, a more respected creator in the digital space. It's really an investment in your own creative integrity and your long-term success.
Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more upcoming episodes.
And for reliable and expert intellectual property legal services, contact Tara IYIP today or log on to www.tarasweep.com. Our team of experienced attorneys is dedicated to helping individuals and businesses safeguard their intellectual property rights in the digital age.